Hey guys, it's Casey. Today I'm going to be working on this cute little mushroom house that I cut out using my XTOOL P2 55 watt CO2 laser. I do have a discount for you guys down in the description box if y'all are interested in lasers. They're really a lot of fun to work with. But let's get back to the project. Okay, so I'm going to mix up 7 different colors, I believe, here. First, I'm going to start with primary elements. Now, this is an acrylic base, so it's actually a dry paint system. It's one of the only dry paint systems in the world, or the only, I'm not sure. But I tried to disperse it with alcohol, and where alcohol is not a water base, it didn't want to disperse. I mixed it in my resin, and it just did not want to disperse the color. Since it is an acrylic base. So I end up taking and using some Mod Podge. So I'm just going to mix this up. You see how clear that is and how it's got lumps in it? That's because the color hasn't dispersed. So I'm just going to set this one to the side, and I'm going to start over. I'm going to take and put the blue back into the cup, and then I'm going to add the alcohol again. I don't know why I put alcohol in it again, knowing that the alcohol just didn't work. And then I decide I'm going to grab my Mod Podge. I don't know if you're not supposed to add stuff like that to resin, but I do. It does lower your work time. But, you know, I wasn't worried about my work time with this. I knew I'd have plenty of work time. But adding acrylic or anything water-based will lessen your work time with resin. So I've added a couple drops of Mod Podge, mixed it in, and now I'm going to mix that resin in from the other cup. And look at that blue. Look how gorgeous that came out. Absolutely love that color. And then I'm going to take this, I think it's called Enchanted Forest. It's also a primary element, and I'm just going to mix it straight with the glue. Okay, and I'm going to turn it into like a paste. And then I'm going to add my resin to that paste and mix it in really well. And I've got this dark, gorgeous green to work with now. I love that I can use my primary elements in my resin. And I'm just mixing up the rest of my pigments. All of these are interference, diamond, and sparkle pigments from Color Art. I think she still sells the Blanket line. Now I'm going to take a couple drops of airsoft oil and put it in my white pigment paste that I mixed up. I'm only going to use a couple drops. That's all it needs. And then mix that in. You don't have to mix it too well. Just mix it in a little bit and then set it off to the side. Now I'm going to take my other colors and I'm going to draw lines across the surface of this acrylic sheet. And I'm doing this just to build up color because resin doesn't do well in puddles. So I prefer to do it in lines like this because whatever touches the surface is what you're going to see on the other side. So I decided just to put lines of color across the acrylic and just build it up this way. I'm not using my white. The white is still setting off to the side. I do not use the white in this part. Now I'm going to take my palette knife, grab my white. I'm going to put my white on the palette knife, smear it around, and then make sure the base is covered on the acrylic, and then pick it up and swipe it slowly across the surface. And look at that. See all those cells popping up? Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so I'm going to clean off my palette knife, and I'm going to do this again on the other side. Now, the top isn't getting covered because I didn't put any more resin up there, but that's okay. I'm going to come back in with some resin here in just a second. I'm just putting my leftovers up there. Like I said, what's on the back's what you're going to see, and I'm going to swipe over that. So, we're going to add some more color in here. And then we're going to take and put the white on the palette knife, swipe again across the entire surface. I missed a spot, so I'm going to put a little bit more white on my palette knife. And I'm going to go back over the center area right there where I missed that spot. And now I've just got to let it cure for 24 hours and look at these results right now while it's wet. Isn't that stunning? I absolutely love doing this stuff. It is so much fun and it is so gorgeous. I I'm very happy with it, very pleased with it. Now I'm going to let it cure. I've let it cure. I've pulled all the extra parts out. I missed some footage. My phone was not recording, but I put the outside lining on it, and I'm going to show you guys how I did that. I took some UV resin, went around the edges, and just stuck it in place. And this centerpiece I've got to pull off, and then I'm going to cure that window in place, just like I did the outside edges. And then I'm going to show you this little jar I made. Isn't that adorable? That's from the leftovers. This is all from those leftovers. And it came out stunning. I love this little jar. Love, love, love it. Okay, so now that that's curing, I'm going to pull it off. Then it's time to paint it. I've got some white paint here. I'm just going to take some white paint, go around this little window, and make sure I get it fully covered in the white paint. I'm just finger painting here. That's how I did this entire outside edge, is I just finger painted the lifted areas. It's as simple as that. Just finger paint the lifted areas, and then I'm going to come back in with a second layer of the paint. And this way I can make sure I get really good coverage all over it. I want it stark white. Okay, after I get that done, I'm going to mix up some UV resin with, this is fluorescent pink. It looks very orange on camera, but it is pink. And this is fluorescent yellow. And these are both blanket pigments as well from Color Art. I do think she still sells these. I'm not sure. You have to go to colorart.com to see what she still sells. And I still have a discount code for you guys. I don't know if it's still active, but I'm pretty sure it is. Okay. And now I'm just going to clean up any powder I got on there with my finger. But I'm going to go back over it with the wipe here in a second. But I'm going to spread out this UV resin into these lifted areas of the mushrooms on down bottom. And look how bright that orange is. I love that orange. That really turned into a pretty orange. And once I get these all filled in, all I'm going to do is take my UV light and put it under my UV light for about 3 minutes, because this really needs to cure. It needs to get, it's got a color to it, so it's going to take a little while to cure. So I'm going to let that cure. Once it's all cured, I'm going to come back in up here and clean it up with a wipe, because I did get yellow all over it. And once I get the yellow cleaned up, all I'm going to do is come back in with some Amsterdam interference green. And I'm checking everything right now to make sure it's fully hardened. And I'm going to take this interference green and I'm going to highlight that window again, because that's what I did to the door. I took the interference green and went over the white so that that green kind of pops off at you. If you move it or see it in the light, you'll get a hint of green. Okay, after I get my window highlighted, I'm going to take and come back in up top. You see the top of the mushroom cap here in just a second. I've really thought about putting dots up top, but look at this. Isn't this gorgeous as it is? I didn't want to mess it up. That top part has dots. I'm going to show you here in just a second. Yeah, there it is. That piece. that piece didn't want to fit back in after I'd glued everything down. And the dots, I wasn't sure about doing them because I wasn't sure I'd be able to get them onto the acrylic without breaking it or harming it in any way. I would have to sand that acrylic down to get it to fit. So I decided to skip that and just do that underneath of the mushroom. And I think it was a smart choice just to leave that piece off, because I just love how this comes out. The orange under the mushroom and the orange mushroom caps really make this pop. I mean, it is gorgeous. And it glows under a black light. So, you know, that's really awesome. And I love the blanket pigments because they do mix in resin very, very well. I mean, they're like, they melt into your resin, not like most pigments. Most pigments are, I don't know what to say. They want to leave lumps. These don't. But now I've got this all cured. I'm calling it quits. I don't want to mess it up. I love it as it is. I hope you guys love this too. I'm going to show it to you under the black light. Look at this. Isn't that cool? Really neat. I love how it looks. I love how it come out. I'm going to give you guys an up-close shot of it real quick. Look at this. Look at all those cells and the lacing. It's so moody and beautiful. I love it. I hope you guys love this too. I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't, please take the time to like, share, comment, subscribe. I love to hear from you guys. I'd like to know what you might have done differently, or if you like it the way it is. You have a blessed day, and thank you again for watching.